Fear the man, fear the people, or fear the government? Let's just go with fear the people, fear the government. I don't think that it is the way that I hear a lot of people are trying to paint this, this picture right here that people are fearful of the government. Actually, I think it's the other way around. I think it's the government that is very, very fearful of the people. And let's just tell the truth. Let's just tell the truth. We live in a world far different than when this document right here was given to the Americans. And I am making a distinction when I say the Americans. The people in this country do not trust the government. I don't trust them. The government has not given me any reason to trust them. As a matter of fact, I hear what they say. When I say they, I mean all the people who are lumped into one category. The news media is lumped in the same category as the government. They're both on the same side. They're both on the same team, and they are for each other. And I watch them over and over and over again try to sway public sentiment and still trying to force the hand of the people to comply with whatever the government says. And anytime the government is questioned, especially when the so-called official story comes out, they wonder why the American people have cause for pause. Well, I don't think that there is 80% of Americans that actually trust the government. We can see through the economic policies, i.e. bailouts, that they are for the good old boy club. The banks, the government, the news media, and if I keep on going, pretty soon I'll give you an example. The banks, the corporations, the government, the news media, they all lumped into one side. And the truth is, they use the labors of us, the people. They use the labor of our back to oppressively, still till today, tax us half to death and continually keep taking from us because government can't produce nothing. Now we gotten to the point where the government can't produce anything, the banks can't produce anything, and the corporations cannot live without the people. That's why that they are raising our taxes. Because government can only take. It cannot produce anything. So my take on this is that the government is fearing the people. And look at the response. Right here, this document says that the people have a right to protest their government for redress and a grievance. And we'll sit there watching people getting maced, pepper sprayed, beat with batons, police brutality. Now, I think this is what the scripture says it is that we're dealing with a beast system that's going to stamp out all residue and all resistance. That means anything that opposes it, they're going to stamp out. No, I don't trust the president. I surely don't trust anybody in the Congress. I don't care if they're in the Senate or in the House, because they've given me no reason to trust them whatsoever at all. Their decisions, their policies, their laws, they're not for us. They're for them. They actually protect themselves from the people while they take from the people. And of course, we're watching this firestorm go on here in this country because, hey, the patriots in this country are highly upset. I'm watching them put gag orders on people. I'm watching people that normally would stand firm turn around and grovel at the feet of the government as if you're going to get anything from them. You're not going to get nothing from them. Nothing. They're not going to change what they're doing one bit. They taste blood. The government does. And this is their time. They can sense it. And they're not to back down from their immoral policies. They're not to back down from raping, robbing, and murdering and pillaging the country here in the United States of America. Let me just go ahead and tell you the painful, ugly truth. The jobs that are gone overseas, they ain't coming back. There is no auto industry in this country no more. It's all outsourced. And that happened in the 90s under the Bill Clinton administration. through Captain, Captain, Napped, and all the other ABC alphabet suits. After 9/11, when they told us that some terrorists actually attacked the towers and knocked down a couple of financial centers in the United States of America, they call it 9/11. Well, it's amazing how they covered up all the information. No sooner as it happened in the official story, if you question any of it now, you are the terrorist. So they came out with a law called the Patriot Act. And I said they never, ever, ever could have been as truthful as they were when they said that, because that act was an act against the patriots. Here we are sitting over here in America. Our children are getting molested and groped at the TSA. Old women molested and groped. Men molested and groped. And when you try to actually go to your government, it doesn't work for you. It never has worked for you, and it never will work for you. The government that is set up here in the United States of America only works for the banks, the corporations, the politicians, and everyone that is on their side, i.e. the police departments. That's it. The system doesn't work for the common people, you and I. That's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. And you know what? They hate for you to hear these words. They don't want you to hear these words. And that's the reason why that the government fears veterans. They fear veterans because they know that the veterans have seen what's going on. The majority of civilians haven't seen what's going on behind the scenes. They have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. In the military, in these other countries, what's going on. They don't see it. That's why all the laws are mostly passed against veterans. They want to make them out of some type of psychotic psychopaths. Because the veterans know what is going on, and they're not blind to the facts. We're in some serious trouble. We are in a decline, and I would not trust anything that comes from any news media source whatsoever at all, especially if it's mainstream and including local news. And I definitely wouldn't trust anything that a politician says, because it's just, they cannot tell the truth. I had a lady call in my radio broadcast last night. I want y'all to listen to me real quick. This is the reality. I had a lady call into the radio broadcast last night that had, here in Tennessee, had her unemployment benefits cut short by 61 weeks. Cut off. Ain't gonna get nothing. Amazing, isn't it? Isn't it amazing? History is on the people's side, providing that you can actually listen to history. If you can study history. And if you can't study history, you can't listen to history, it's time for you to really start informing yourself, because if you truly want to know what's going on right now and what's going to happen in the future, pay attention to the past. Because the past is our eyes and our window to the future that's taking place right here, right before us right now. And when you really, truly look, not the history that the government curriculum gives you, go do your own independent research. Go do your own independent research and find out and see if this pastor right here is telling the truth or your government is telling you the truth. Because I'm telling you right now, the history of the United States of America and Britain, England, doesn't look good at all. No, not at all. Not at all. That's why I teach people, start making your own way. Start making your own way. Start investing, this is my advice, in sound money. And sound money is not Federal Reserve notes. If you knew what this said, you know what sound money is. Why do you think Illinois is passing laws and regulation against silver and gold? Why do you think that they want to regulate us from protecting ourselves against them? Because after all, the Second Amendment is so clear. Don't let these people dupe you. It is not an amendment for hunting. The Second Amendment is for us, we the people, to protect ourselves against a tyrannical government gone wild. And most people trying to dress it up and trying to say that they don't think that this government is tyrannical, nor has it gone wild. Well, my evidence is no more than looking at YouTube and the last news media and over the last decade, the way that they've actually treated the people. I can see right now the way that they're pushing. I see right now the way they're going. And you know why I can see the way they're going? And it causes a heightened sense of awareness in myself as well as other people who are informed. Because again, we've got history on our side. We will have watched and saw what other regimes done in the past, like so-called quote-unquote Nazi Germany, ancient Rome. We watched and saw what they've done in the past, and we've got history books to prove it. And then we sit up here and watch and see what's happening today. It's the same spirit, the same script is being followed. No, I think you'd be better off that if they ever suggest anything to you, especially in the news media, you go the direct opposite way in order to preserve and protect yourself. Because it's not in their best interest, to do you right. You think about it, with all the money that our government used to bail out the banks, suppose that they gave all that money to the people where all the people could have had a clean slate and wiped out all their debts. It's amazing, huh? Now the banks are too big to fail. The government is too big to fail. But you, the people, you get your rear end out there and sleep in that tree. You find your plot of land in a tent city and go there. And then when you get there and you get too many of you, we're going to bring in our police force and we're going to kick you off of the land. I often say, because remember, I'm a pastor, that if you really truly want to know what type of country any country is, watch and see how they treat their poor. Because when you watch and see how they treat their poor, you're going to know the morality, the character, and the attitude of the people of that country. I hope that you can wake up and prepare yourself. Prepare yourself and make your own way, because your government cannot be trusted.